What's up, Meta Nerds? This video is all about Count Dooku's personal yacht, the Punworcca 116. Let's just start by addressing its most unique feature, that massive sail. Other sails in the Star Wars universe use photons or tachyons and unfold to be the size of a moon, but no one is quite sure how this thing works. This mystery just added to Dooku's presence, but was the result of him studying the ancient species known as the gree. This cephalopod race is considered to have developed the first hyperdrive technology more than 100,000 years before the Clone Wars. Many of their technological wonders are still shrouded in mystery, with historians unsure where the line is between fact and myth. When Dooku left the Jedi Order, he found himself free to study whatever cultures and beliefs he wanted, leading him to the Gree Enclave. This area of Outer Rim space contains several worlds, and somewhere in here, Dooku was able to purchase this from a dealer of ancient tech. Though sometimes called the Solar Sailer, it is a bit inaccurate, not fully understanding the depth of this device. It is not pushed by photons, or even the tachyons like some other sails, but instead is being pushed by a supra-light force that is undetectable via all other technology. Even the best physicists in the University of Coruscant don't understand this elusive flow of energy that permeates the universe, but somehow this ship is able to set sail and ride those winds. With possibly the most advanced and unique tech in the galaxy, Dooku asked Poggle the Lesser if he could have it incorporated into a ship designed by the Geonosians. This was seen as a deeply respectful gesture to the Archduke, as it revealed Dooku's understanding of Geonosian history. Countless years before, the Geonosian atmosphere was a bit different, and sailing vessels were the main method of traveling across the skies. Flying sail barges became even larger, and eventually led to high-altitude travel, and then they even incorporated this tech into space travel. These primitive solar sails would be pushed by photons, first just their nearby star, but then by lasers that were based on Geonosis and out in orbit. But as fusion technology became ubiquitous across the galaxy, the time of the majestic Geonosian sailing vessels came to an end. So Poggle was excited to see another Geonosian ship sailing across the stars. Though the sail was of gree design, the actual body of this ship was produced by the Geonosis-based company Hoopla Passa Tisk Shipwrights Collective. They had this sail stored inside of the upper and lower levels, which would be released when these areas split into 4 panels. Attached via long cords, the sail material would unfold out to its full size. When retracting, the material would be able to collapse in on itself until it became the perfect size to be intercepted by the main body. It is made by the same bugs that gave us the Nantex and Genevex, which is why the Punworcca looks like a supersized Geonosian fighter. At 15.2 meters or 50 feet long, it was about 1.5 times the length of the Nantex, and about a Wookiee longer than an X-Wing. Being 4.6 meters or 15 feet wide, it was about twice the width of the Geonosian fighter, or a Hutt plus an Ewok across. At 4.8 meters or 16 feet tall, it was more than twice the height of the Nantex, and half the height of the AT-ST. But when the sail was out, it reached a length of 105 meters or 345 feet, making it about a Millennium Falcon shorter than the CR-90. It was designed in the same facility as the Nantex, and if you watched our video on that fighter, you know Geonosian tech works by scent. Us humans may prefer visual and audio stimuli to help us pilot vehicles, but the Geonosians preferred to receive ship feedback in the form of different smells. You can see that this feature was built into the Punworcca, with vents alerting the cockpit and engineering areas. This engineering deck contains the console to monitor the fuel and reactors that flank this area. This is also where the hyperdrive is located, which is rated at a class 1.5, making it faster than most, but definitely not the fastest of all time. Though the gree technology made it possible to run this thing without any fuel, it still did have traditional guide thrusters located here, along with a series of repulsors. There are actually a stunning 84 narrow tractor repulsor beam projectors located around the upper and lower bow. Thrusters could keep it agile in empty space, while repulsors could push and pull against other ships, asteroids, planets, and even the atmosphere to make this ship maneuver like no other. All this tech helped it to get it up to speeds of 1,600 kilometers per hour in atmosphere, faster than almost every other Star Wars ship besides the TIE Defender. And with that sail, it had an acceleration of 1000 G, 1/3 that of the Venator. Interestingly though, its tractor repulsor arrays were its only potential armament. But don't worry about the count. Although the offense was low, defense was incredibly high, having a triple layer shield. This doesn't even take into account the laminar style hull plating that made Geonosian ships strong on their own, but right behind those repulsors are a seemingly equal number of deflector shield projectors. This speed, agility, and protection is what made Dooku so confident in entrusting his life to this otherwise simple-looking ship. While on board, he could let the FA-4 droid do the piloting, while he studied in his extensive databook library. This area also contained a variety of data screens that allowed Dooku to monitor the location of CIS assets both near and far. But how was it used during the Clone Wars? Well, at its very opening on Geonosis, the Punworcca found itself in the middle of one of the most epic battles in history. Yoda even got Dooku to slash at his own steering and shield arrays by jumping up and bouncing around off this ship. After this, Dooku allowed it to be used by Ventress, and then later by Savage Opress. During the skirmish on Vancor, his prize ship was shot down, though he must have went back and retrieved the rare gree sail, because he later took it to Zygeria, where he went and killed their queen. That is actually the last time we see this ship used during the Clone Wars, and its final destination is still unknown. I'd imagine that if Palpatine knew of this ancient gree sail, he would have ensured that it was safely stored in one of his many vaults of relics. If this is true, then maybe we can see the Punworcca again, with perhaps an entire navy using that endless stream of super light energy for propulsion. That's it for its history, but you definitely want to hear these cool facts and behind the scenes stuff. The design for this ship came from the concept art for the Queen's Royal Starship in Episode 1. I imagine someone thought a sail-powered ship for this world made sense, because the notes on Naboo were supposed to be that it was very in tune with nature as opposed to Coruscant, and all their tech was supposed to not harm the environment. When it was chosen for Dooku and to be made by the Geonosians, artists started to take it in a more beetle and butterfly look. And originally, it was going to be a kind of limousine, hence the elongated appearance, with Dooku sitting in the back with a driver up front behind a partition. But as they started making scenes for Episode 2, they thought it would be better if you could see Dooku in the cockpit. Also, solar sailors are a real technology, and so was the concept developed by ancient Geonosians, where they shot laser beams at these sailors in order to keep them going. Even the tachyons that are said to push other sailors in the Star Wars universe are based on a theoretical particle called tachyons. But it should be pointed out that many physicists doubt its existence, and how this would be used to push a sail requires too much hand-waving even for me. Additional information about this ship was gained by the Star Wars Complete Cross-Sections and the New Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels. And it also appeared in the comics Republic 49 and 63, the novel Labyrinth of Evil, and the Star Wars Complete Encyclopedia. So that's it for the Punworcca 116. If you want to connect with us, help support this channel, or get your own copies of the reference materials used to make this video, be sure to check the links in the description. Special shout out to our supporters over on Patreon, but most important of all, remember, always study your ancient alien history and technology, and the Force will be with you, always.